And unfortunately, a lot of people, they want to have maximum endurance and they want to have maximum muscle mass. And you can't have both. You can't have it all. And I'm going to explain why in this video. Hey, how's it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward. And in today's video, you're going to get a presentation that I made for one of my Muscle After 40 Blueprint coaching students. And this was a custom video presentation that I made to answer a question and concern that he had about his training program. And this is something that I do on a regular basis for the guys who are going through the Muscle After 40 Blueprint, is if they have questions and concerns about their training and their nutrition and things are not going the way they want, sometimes instead of just writing out an email or jumping on the phone and talking, I'll actually make a custom presentation and actually go into their question in detail, showing examples and reasons why certain things happen and why certain things don't happen. And that's exactly what you're going to get in this one. So it's not pretty. It's just a rough draft screenshot video presentation that I put together. But it's really going to dive in deep and explain the difference between endurance and muscle building. And these are two contradictory goals. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they want to have maximum endurance and they want to have maximum muscle mass. And you can't have both. You can't have it all. And I'm going to explain why in this video. Now, when it comes to this. And when you're trying to balance endurance and muscle building, it's a very fine line. And there's a bit of misconception and confusion out there when it comes to the both. Because right now, at the stage I'm at in my training, I love endurance. I mean, I do a lot of cycling, and that's actually something I'm very passionate about. If you follow me on social media, in my Facebook and stuff, I post a lot of cycling pictures, and it's something that I really enjoy at this stage of my training, at this stage of my life. It's more practical, it's healthier for the heart, it's healthier for my body, because when I was doing extreme weight training as a bodybuilder and powerlifter, I suffered a lot of injuries through that. And I'm at the stage now where I can't continue down that road. I can't continue the powerlifting and the training because my body just can't sustain it. I'm not a genetically elite person by any stretch. I don't have the genetics to be a pro bodybuilder or a pro strongman competitor or a pro endurance athlete. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm just an average Joe who has a passion for fitness, right? That's where I am. I'm an average Joe who has a passion for this, and I'm using that to help teach and educate others in the process. Because quite honestly, that's where 99.9% of us are. We're average Joes who have a passion for fitness, and we want to improve ourselves, but you're not going to achieve the elite of the elite levels of fitness and muscularity and proportion and performance and all that kind of stuff. In order to be really good at endurance, it's actually better to have less muscle on your frame. To be really good at building muscle, you don't want to be doing the extreme endurance. So it's chalk and cheese, two totally contradictory goals. And where it can get confusing is when you see people who are doing multiple sports. And in my case, I'm coming from a bodybuilding background. So I have 30 years of training under my belt, and 20 plus of those years was dedicated to bodybuilding. Building muscle, building strength. I mean, I was a competitive bodybuilder for 16 years. I was training 5 years prior to that. So, 21 years of my life was dedicated to building muscle. And that laid a foundation. And I'm just going to show some pictures. Here's some pictures of myself. This is pretty much at my peak of muscle development, right? I'm not as big and as muscular as this right now. I'll be totally honest. I'm way bigger and stronger and more muscular in these pictures than I am right now. But I had that base. That is 20 years of training and building muscle on my frame. So now when I'm doing cycling and endurance sports, I'm actually losing muscle. I'm not building new muscle tissue on top of that. I am losing muscle tissue that I had. So if you want to build muscle, you have to change your approach. You can't keep doing the endurance sports that cause you to get slim and lean and expect to build a lean muscular physique or a big muscular physique. It's two totally different approaches. So in my case, I had the muscle and I'm losing the muscle. So I'm actually trimming down. I'm lighter now than I was in these pictures, and I'm quite honestly, I'm not even as lean as I was in those pictures. So I'm less muscle, a bit more body fat, but I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying where I'm to because I actually just enjoy being this. This is a comfortable body weight for me. Like to have that much muscle on my frame, that was not necessarily comfortable because it took a lot of effort in the gym, a lot of effort when it comes to the nutrition, and it was just a lot of work. That all or nothing extreme approach that I've talked about before. This is the extreme approach. This is all in, right, to maintain that type of muscularity. I'm not all in anymore because I don't want to be dedicating my life to being a slave to the gym and 6 days a week and every 2 hours eating and that extreme approach. I want a more balanced lifestyle approach where I still look and feel comfortable in my own skin, but I'm healthy, I have good endurance, I have time to spend with my family. Like I want that balanced lifestyle approach, not this just be big and ripped and jacked at all costs and the hell with everything else. You can't have it all. You can't have it all. Like you can't have the endurance of a marathon runner, the muscle of a bodybuilder, the amazing family life, amazing business life, amazing relationships, all the free time in the world. Like, you can't have it all. You have to prioritize what's most important for you. And if you want to have that balanced approach, then you have to settle for less than optimal in these different areas. So what I'm going to do right now is just show you some extreme examples. Right here, we have a picture of Lance Armstrong, right, who is a Tour de France champion, ex-champion, however you want to look at it, but I still consider him a champion. And we have former Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. Now, both of these guys were at the top of their sport. The elite of the elite, world-class genetics, world-class efforts, totally dedicated their lives to their sport. Jay Cutler became the best bodybuilder in the world, winning the Mr. Olympia. Lance became the best cyclist in the world, winning the Tour de France. Both of them have pushed the limits. Both of them have used performance-enhancing drugs. Both of them have done everything physically, humanly possible to succeed at their sports. Chemically, financially, sacrificing their life, like everything that could possibly be done to enhance their self and to exceed at their sports, they have done it. There's nothing more that they could have done. They've done it all. And this is the results. This is the body types of two different extreme athletes. Now, Lance Armstrong has the skinny endurance body. Jay Cutler has the huge, massive, muscular bodybuilder body. One cannot become the other. Now, genetics play a huge role. Jay Cutler had the genetics for building muscle. Lance Armstrong has the genetics for endurance. You can't switch it over. Like, if Lance starts lifting weights and Jay starts riding a bike, like, Jay is never going to win a Tour de France, and Lance is never going to win a Mr. Olympia. Like, you can't turn them into something they're not. But they succeeded and excelled at what they are genetically geared towards. Now, the thing that I'm getting at here is look at the difference in the body type. A lot of people, they want to have the endurance of Lance and the muscles of Jay, and it does not exist. It does not exist. Now, even if you say, well, I don't want to have the extreme endurance of Lance, and I don't want to have the extreme muscle of Jay, I want to be somewhere in the middle. You want to be like this guy. You want to be lean and ripped and jacked and have a nice beach body, and you also want to have good endurance. You want to have it all. The problem with this, this is a bodybuilder standing next to a bicycle. He's not a cyclist. He's not even wearing cycling shoes. He's not even wearing cycling shorts. He's standing next to a mountain bike, got the helmet and the gloves on, but this is a photo shoot. This is a muscle model, a bodybuilder model, posing next to a bicycle for a photo shoot. This is not real. He did not build that body riding that bike. He built that body in the gym with weights and then supplemented that with cardio to burn the body fat. But the primary focus was on weight training to lay the foundation to build the muscle. You do not build that level of muscle riding a bike, running, swimming, or whatever. You do not build muscle doing long distance endurance. Long distance endurance is great for burning fat and improving your endurance and your heart health and all that stuff and your stamina, but it does not build muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is built through demands in the gym, weight training, strength training, causing your body to get bigger and stronger. That's how muscle is built. This is the result of long distance endurance training. These are cyclists and triathlons and runners and whatever like that. These are just images I found on Google Images, and they're very real. Like, these are people who are successful endurance athletes. And this is the type of body someone builds when they are a successful endurance athlete. It's a slender, lean, but it's not shredded. It's not the six-pack abs, rock hard, full muscle bellies of the fitness model or of the bodybuilder. This is what most endurance athletes look like. And you go to any endurance event, you go to any marathon, any triathlon, any cycling event, this is what the best of the best are going to look like. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of average people there who still have belly rolls and everything else who are on their journey towards trying to improve their health and fitness, but this is the body of an endurance athlete. A lot of us want to have the body of bodybuilders, right? And fitness models. If you've been around this game for a while, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was my idol. Like, that was the first time I seen a man with muscles, was Arnold. And I was like blown away, like, holy crap, like that's actually real? I want to build a body like that. That was my goal. And now we have all these guys like bodybuilders and fitness models and fitness influencers who are on social media and stuff like that. And they all have these lean, ripped, jacked bodies. But those lean, ripped, jacked bodies were not built running and cycling and swimming. Those lean, ripped, jacked bodies were built in the gym through weight training, through a lot of times performance-enhancing drugs, and they have elite genetics. And also, these photos are the best photos, like the perfect lighting, the perfect angle, the perfect pump to make them look amazing in photos. These are not just randomly snapped off selfie pics with no thought, rhyme, or reason. It's not like you taking your progress pictures and posting them to the coaching app and saying, hey, check out my progress pictures, because most of you don't have any clue about lighting, you don't have any clue about how to pump up, how to hold your body and pose and make yourself look good, and then you don't have any Photoshop skills to enhance the definition afterwards and the photo filters. Like, these pictures are, the people in these pictures don't look as good as they do in the pictures. That's what I'm getting at. Even the models themselves do not look as good as they do in the pictures. The pictures are them enhanced, right? So even though they're in great shape in real life, the pictures make them look that much better. And this is what a lot of people are striving for. So you're on social media and you're looking at this and you're like, I want to look like that guy, and I want to have the endurance of that guy, and I want to have it all. And the problem is you can't have it all. You can't have it all. You got to focus on what it is that you want to achieve. Now, where it can get confusing is initially it actually can, because like let's just say that this is where someone is starting from. Someone is overweight, out of shape, not exercising, not doing diddly squat. They're just, couch potato, obese. And this is the reality for a lot of people. I'm sure you go out in public and you will see people who look very similar to this gentleman. This is the way people are, a lot of people. If that is your starting point, from ground zero, no fitness whatsoever, anything you do at that stage is going to produce results. Going for a walk will actually build muscle for this man, because one, he has to carry all that weight, and his muscles are so deconditioned that the stimulation he gets from simply walking is going to actually build muscle. If he just improves his eating at all, like starts cutting out the fast food and eats more protein and vegetables, he's going to start dropping body fat. Like, weight training is going to start building muscle. Just any exercise, any positive improvement whatsoever is going to start to notice progress in someone like this, because he is so deconditioned, he's so out of shape, and the improvements, quite honestly, are easy to make at this stage because anything is progress. Whereas if you're already at this higher level, you're already training, competing, you're lean, like for these guys here to build muscle, they'll have to do a full 180. Like, in order for these guys here to look like this guy here, they got to change. Like, right here, let me put these pictures side by side. In order for this guy up here in the corner with his arms up in the air, in order for him to build muscle like that, he's going to have to totally change his training. He's got to drastically cut down on the amount of time he spends on the bike and drastically cut down on whatever endurance sports he's doing and get his ass in the gym and start lifting weights. He has to put in the time in the gym building muscle, right? Again, like for this guy here, the next level is very low. Getting his ass out the door for a walk is the next level. Like this 1% improvement each day. That's what you remember me here talking about this. His 1% improvement could be going for a walk. His 1% improvement could be adding a serving of vegetables. Or it could be adding some protein, cutting out the soda pop, or even just switching the soda pop to diet pop. Anything is 1% improvement at that stage. But for these guys to make 1% improvement, it takes frickin' work. For these guys to make 1% improvement, it takes frickin' work. Now, it's a different type of 1% improvement, but it takes work at that level. For these guys to make 1% improvement, it takes work. This is where you just can't half-ass your way through it. Now, if you're okay with being, average, like you just want to be lean and healthy and fit and enjoy life, Like a lot of the guys in our coaching program. I mean, prime example, Jeff, right? Jeff Samatero. I mean, I did an interview with Jeff just the other day. Where is he? There. If that's the type of physique that you want, I mean, that's something that's very realistic and achievable with a healthy lifestyle approach. And he's still, the primary focus of Jeff's workout is weight training supplemented with cardio. It's not cardio supplemented with weight training. He's got an indoor stationary bike that he does cardio with. He's got a mountain bike that he does cardio with, and he likes going for hikes and paddle boards and living life and enjoying activity. But the primary focus, his day in, day out, non-negotiable, is going into his gym and lifting weights, putting stress and demands on the muscle. Eating protein and veggies and riding a bike is not going to build muscle. It's not. It's going to help you lean out, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. But this is another thing that I want to elaborate on. Just because you do cardio and eat clean doesn't automatically mean you're going to be ripped. Right? You can be skinny fat. And let me just show you an example. This right here is Mark Beaumont. Mark has the world record for cycling around the world. And he's done it a couple times, I believe. One was unsupported, where he literally just bike packed, did it on his own, with his own tent and everything else, and literally cycled around the world. The other one was a supported ride, where he had a crew following him along in a motorhome. And so he'd ride and then eat, sleep in the motorhome, and then ride and eat, sleep in the motorhome. Like it was the most... Anyway, bottom line, he holds the world record for cycling around the world. Cycling around the world is pretty big cardio. Like that's extreme. He slept 5 hours a day. He ate for like a couple hours a day, and then the rest of the day he was on the bike. Like it was 16 hours of cardio a day. Basically, that's what he was doing. 16 hours of cardio a day, but like he's still not shredded, even though he did 16 hours of cardio a day and cycled around the world. Like he doesn't have the definition of this guy, or he doesn't have the definition of Jay Cutler, or these fitness models, even though he did 16 hours of cardio a day. So cardio and food doesn't automatically equal shredded ripped muscle. It means you are efficient at endurance. Like, he's still in great shape compared to the average person. I mean, he's 110 million% better than this guy, right? But he doesn't have that bodybuilder look, even though he's does 16 hours of cardio a day, or he did while he was going around the world. Right? He wasn't shredded. I mean, a lot of people look at him and say he's skinny fat, even though he did 16 hours of cardio a day. So, in order to build muscle, you need to focus on weight training. That's what I'm getting at in this video. And you can't build muscle if you don't have the weight training as the top priority. Now, you need to evaluate your own situation. Is building muscle and is weight training your top priority? If it is, then you got to focus on it. But if your top priority is this, endurance training, then do that. And supplement the endurance training with some strength training. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not saying one is right or wrong. Like, I have just as much respect for these guys as I do for these guys. Now, granted, the bodybuilder guys are going to get more attention at the beach. The girls are going to look at them and you know, a bit more envy there from the ladies and all that kind of stuff. But it's no less of an impressive feat than what these guys are doing. Because I'm going to tell you right now, all these bodybuilder dudes, if they tried to go for a marathon run or a long distance cycle, like, they would get gassed, they would get dropped, they would be the bottom of the pack, they wouldn't even finish the race. Right? That's the truth. These guys, even though they look amazing, right, they can't ride 100 miles. You know what I mean? Like, they do not have endurance. They cannot go. The distance. They're explosive. They're firecrackers, right? They got that short burst. That's it. These guys are diesel engines. They can keep on chugging, and that is just as respectable from a totally different point of view. But again, the point of this video is you can't have both. Like, this is the extremes in both. Totally different. Chalk and cheese. You cannot have both. Decide where it is that you want to go. And if you want to have a combination of in the middle, then you have to be willing to sacrifice some of the endurance on the endurance end to build the muscle. Or if you want to have the endurance, you have to sacrifice the muscle to help with the endurance. Like, you can't have it all. You can't be the best endurance athlete and the best bodybuilder and have it all. It just, there's no such a specimen exists. Jay Cutler ain't winning the Tour de France, and Lance Armstrong ain't winning the Mr. Olympia. Not going to happen. And if this was helpful, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you know what to do. You post them down in the comments below. I'll chat with you down there. And we'll be talking in a future video. Take care. Over and out.